What we're going to do is start looking at the unit circle. Today we're just going to be focused on the first quadrant. And so when we're looking at the unit circle, the key thing that we need to recognize is that why it's called the unit circle is because the radius is 1 unit. So our y value is vertical, our x value is horizontal, and our r value is always going to be 1. The second thing is that our triangles are going to be based off of our 30, 60, 90 and 45, 45, 90. So for the first one, when we're looking at letter A, what we're going to do is we're going to draw our coordinate system. We're going to draw our triangle in the first quadrant, and we're going to put 30 degrees right by the origin. So if that's 30 degrees, then this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. The hypotenuse is always 1. That means the 30-degree side is always half the hypotenuse, so that would be 1/2. The 60-degree side is always rad 3 times the 30-degree side, so that would be rad 3 over 2. Now, when we're looking at this, we have to remember that sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So our opposite side is a half, our hypotenuse is 1. 1/2 divided by 1 is just a half. So that would be our first answer. Now for the second one, we're going to take the radians, we're going to turn them into degrees. So we times it by 180 over pi. The pi's cancel, 4 goes into 180 45 times. So we're going to draw our triangle in the first quadrant. This time, instead of 30 degrees, it's now 45. That makes it a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Once again, our hypotenuse is 1. It's always 1. Since our 90-degree side is x over x square root of 2, and that's equal to 1, we divide it by the square root of 2. Then when we rationalize it, what we get is square root of 2 over the square root of 2. Now, because both sides are 45, both sides are square root of 2 over square root of 2. Cosine is our adjacent side over our hypotenuse. So that would be rad 2 over 2 divided by 1, which of course is rad 2 over 2. Now for letter C, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to turn it into radians. So 180 over pi. The pi's cancel. 3 goes into 180 60 times. So we're going to put 60 degrees. So this, once again, is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Our hypotenuse is always 1. The 30-degree side is a half. The 60-degree side is rad 3 over 2. And tangent is opposite over adjacent. So that would be rad 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. And when we divide by a half, what we do is we multiply by the reciprocal. So that means that it's going to be rad 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. The 2's cancel. And so what we get is the square root of 3. Now, you should figure out a pattern by this time. The 30-degree side is always a half. The 45-degree side is always rad 2 over 2. And the 60-degree side is always rad 3 over 2. And that pattern's always going to hold. So when we're looking at letter D, what we're going to do is we're going to draw our triangle in the first quadrant with 45 degrees. And so this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Our hypotenuse is 1, and that means that our sides are rad 2 over 2. This is the same as the last 45. This time with tangent, it's opposite over adjacent. So that would be square root of 2 over 2 divided by square root of 2 over 2. Those are exactly the same. So they cancel and they become 1. Now, for the next one, we're going to turn the radians into degrees. So that's 180 over pi. The pi's cancel. 6 goes into 180 30 times. So that means that we're going to draw a triangle. At the origin, what we have is the angle that's 30 degrees. So this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Hypotenuse is always 1. 30-degree side is a half. 60-degree side is rad 3 over 2. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. 1/2 over 1 is 1/2. And for letter F, once again, we change the radians into degrees. And 3 goes into 180 60 times. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a triangle with 60 degrees. So this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Hypotenuse is 1, 30-degree side is a half, 60-degree side is rad 3 over 2. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So that would be 1/2. Now we're going to look at the rules for exponents. Product property, when we multiply, we add the exponents. When we raise an exponent to an exponent, we multiply. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Whenever we have a negative, we flip it to the bottom. And whenever we divide, we subtract the exponents. So with the first one, we're multiplying. That means we add the exponents. So that would be x to the 9th. Once again, we're multiplying, so we're adding the exponents. First, we do the 2 times 5, which of course is 10. When we add 6 and 4, that gives us 10. And 1 and 3 gives us 4. Anything to the 0 power is 1. When we square something, make sure that you distribute the 2 to each of them. So that would be 5 squared, x squared, y to the 10th. 5 squared, of course, is 25. So 25 x squared y to the 10th. And then for letter E, anything to the 0 is 1. Since there's a 2 in the front, that would be 2. The negative means we bring the 3x down. The whole thing is squared now. 3 squared is 9. X squared is x squared. That's different than letter G. Notice that the negative 9 is only with the x, so only the x goes down. And then for our last one, we're first going to reduce the 4 6, which is 2/3. 6x is on top, 1x on the bottom, so there would be 5 more on top, or 6 minus 1 is 5. Negative exponents go up, and we add 2 to that, so that becomes y to the 5th.